In this episode, another closer look at the RODELink wireless lavalier system. In this case, we're going to do a stress test in a heavy Wi-Fi environment and have our talent walk a pretty good distance. And then in our second test, a more realistic scenario where we sit down for an interview with two RODELink wireless systems and interview a person for a little bit in, again, a very Wi-Fi heavy corporate environment. Now, the goal of this is not to test the audio quality just yet. We're going to do that in a separate episode. This is a corporate environment. In the first test, we are aiming to understand how far we can get the microphone away from with the transmitter, away from the receiver, and not drop out the signal. So this is in a heavy Wi-Fi environment. We measured 10 different Wi-Fi access points or hotspots, and we had our talent walk away and around a corner. So they walked about 50 meters, and then once they got to about 50 meters, they walked around a corner, another 20 meters. That's when we started experiencing some dropouts, is after they went around the corner.
Let's talk about our least favorite words.
Least favorite words.
Yeah. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, so we can walk and start?
Yep.
Okay, so I have two least favorite words. One is moist.
Oh,
That
can't be good.
Yeah, it's not a good
Like
word.
moist towelette is the only kind of good thing I can think about that right now.
Yeah, but like you never like they say, and maybe moist cake, but anything else, like
No.
here's this moist piece of paper.
No,
Yeah.
not good.
And then my other one is scrumptious.
You don't like scrumptious?
No, I don't
What
like that
you
word.
Like about scrumptious?
I don't know. It reminds me of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
And what didn't you like about Chitty Chitty Bang
Well,
Bang?
the music.
Huh.
So what about you? What's your most unfavorite word?
Tom, would you come help me with something?
That
No,
doesn't
that's
qualify as a word. Drilling. Because of
As
the
in
dentist.
drilling.
I
You
see.
can still hear us.
I don't know, but if we pick, I'm going to see how he feels about us eating some candy. So the viewers at home know that we just walked to the treat basket. He wasn't very specific on whether we should come back or
I
not.
think he wants us to come back.
All right. But anyway, now I'm eating a Twizzler, which is great. And
I
it's,
can't eat anything like that anymore with my teeth the way they are, like no gum. Like that really sticks to your teeth. That probably like pull my teeth out.
well, the
my
good,
tooth out, just
the
like
good
doing
thing
that.
about this is it's neither moist nor scrumptious.
Twizzlers should be scrumptious though.
I just don't like that word.
I mean,
You want to know why? Because a lady on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was named Truly Scrumptious.
Ugh.
And there was a song about it that was just horrible.
In the second test, we had an interview scenario, again, in a Wi-Fi heavy environment, in this case, 12 Wi-Fi networks, sitting in a room. Don't judge the audio quality of the system based on this. There was a very noisy fluorescent light above. It wasn't lit. There was nothing fancy about this. In fact, it was very sloppy and ugly. But I just wanted to test how well these would stand up when you're using two of them, first of all. And you do have to have a separate receiver for each transmitter. You can't send the signal from multiple transmitters to a single receiver, just so you're aware. And that's typical of these lavalier wireless systems. It held up very nicely in this scenario. Again, it's a pretty ugly interview, but it did not drop in over about 10 minutes of recording. So I'll show you just a small clip of it here. So here we are in a more typical kind of scenario. Let me grab my phone here. And we are in a conference room in a corporate setting, and we counted, Mary, how many Wi-Fi networks did we count? Wi-Fi hotspots?
12.
12 Wi-Fi hotspots, okay. And I have my phone here. Mary's got her phone right next to the transmitter. So this is a kind of a more typical kind of scenario where I would expect to use this kind of microphone.
Exactly. Yes. So I finally switched to digital, and I thought it was fantastic because I finally had a chance to go shoot something with the settings I thought were correct and instantly see the product. So I didn't have to wait for a week to get my film back to figure out what I did and what worked.
Yep, and I remember those days as well. And one of the hard things I had is when I was out shooting, I was so excited, I just wanted to shoot, and I so many times I just neglected to write down the notes, so I didn't even know what setting I had used. And then I get the stuff back, and you also don't have control over the printing when you do that. But it's like, Oh, I was so excited for this shot and it doesn't look that great.
Exactly. And the great thing was, I even went digital for a recorder rather than writing my information down. I took a digital recorder out as
brilliant.
part of a camera club.
Yep.
And so I said what the settings were, but it's just not the same when you're going back and forth between pictures and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
From a practical point of view, I've been really happy with what the RODELink is doing here. It's holding up as well as I need it to, especially in these really Wi-Fi heavy environments, which again, as a corporate shooter, I run into that all the time. So 10, 12, even more Wi-Fi networks is not unusual to find in a corporate building, especially when it's shared by multiple businesses like this one was. And it's holding up really, really well in realistic scenarios. If you do have someone walk more than 50 meters away and go around a corner, yeah, it's going to drop. How often do you shoot that way? Only you can answer that. I never shoot that way, so that's not going to be an issue for me. But it was rock solid in the cases where I will be shooting a lot. So I hope you found that helpful. Go ahead and make sure you're subscribed. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down below. In the future, near future, we will have some additional episodes looking at the RODELink wireless lav system. And we'll talk to you again soon.